Hey guys, so I had to run to town and get a punch pen and a couple other little things for the Subaru, changing the CV axle on the Impreza. And safety first, I guess. Anyway, so I got to thinking, and I was watching a video about newer cars being extremely difficult to work on. And, well, that's true. But the main problem isn't going to be knowledge, because we have the internet, right? The problem is going to be the sources of specialty tools. The knowledge was always there, probably to a lot larger extent than you probably realize. Not too long ago, I got a hold of a repair book that not only explains how to fix automotive, automobiles, cars, engines, suspension, braking systems. It's so old, it's leather bound. And before I tell you what year it was printed, I want to tell you what's in it first. And then it really drives home the point here. Not only does it explain how to repair things, like, you can get Chilton's books and things like that and see, this troubleshoot, do this. Basically, it just tells you what to do, right? But what's cool is this book breaks down the physics, thermodynamics. They're acting like these flat plane cranks or something new. And, oh wow, Ferrari's been using them since the 80s, and Ford's putting it in the new GT500, and they were explaining the difference between 360 degree, 180 degree, and I forget the other, but anyway, the different degree cranks in this book, and the inherent vibration frequency differences and risks, the benefits, the losses, a lot of people don't really sit and think about it, but different firing orders also produce engines that sound differently. They produce different torque ranges. Consider an inline four, for example. If they're firing in a sequence like this, right? You're producing a smooth, usable horsepower band that is basically the sum of all cubic inches. Whereas with, say, one that had two cylinders firing in a pair, and the other two coming up, and the other two firing in a pair, you've chopped your displacement in half, because, so to speak, but your torque is going to be out the roof. And a lot of ways this can be seen is in motorcycles. You'll have a parallel twin, for example. Some parallel twins fire both cylinders together and operate as a large cubic inch single, in essence. Whereas the others fire a little off, and then they sound and fire and run a lot like a B-twin, where they're a little off kilter, so you get a longer power stroke out of a small engine. So it operates kind of like a single, I guess, but with something with maybe a longer power stroke. Because while one hits bottom and ends its stroke cycle, the other's still on its way down. See what I mean? And then conversely, one starts earlier, and then it continues. The continuation is longer. Whereas some are perfectly alternating. Okay, and you'll get a smoother balance, kind of like a Subaru Boxer engine, where the opposing cylinders are firing and canceling each other out weight-wise, but you have a smooth power delivery. So instead of a pop 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 or pop 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 like a V twin usually is, you'll get an even pop 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 pop, but it's smooth. So anyway, all of this is explained in this book that I got a hold of, and I didn't realize the massive amount of information in it. I got it because it was so old and in good condition. And I mean, it's just thick. It looks like a Bible. Okay, it literally looks like a leather-bound Bible. Whenever I started reading it, I found things that I didn't even read or had not even learned in automotive machinist classes. And that's saying a lot. We had to learn the thermodynamic properties of how combustion occurs, to learn why this matters, why that matters, why changing this and that helps, hurts, why sharp edges cause detonation, all of that matters. So this book, old as it is, y'all are talking about the old timers that supposedly don't know anything about the new stuff or whatever. They may not know how it's executed, but I can guarantee you they understand the principles. If you would explain to them how today's technology goes about executing the same principles, and what's funny is probably some of y'all may not be able to, because you may not understand. A little humble pie is nice for everybody once in a while. And like I said, I've learned so much reading this book. I didn't know that, for example, cars didn't used to have fuel pumps, not even a mechanical one. They were more or less gravity feed or vacuum feed, and you had to pressurize the tank first with a little pump in the dash. I didn't know that, but looking back, I'm like, dang, I kind of wish my motorcycle did that, because it's older, it doesn't have a fuel pump, not even a mechanical fuel pump, it's gravity feed. However, say you just filled the tank up or you're running almost on empty, there's not a lot of weight pressure there to push the fuel into the carburetors, especially at high elevations, right? So it's kind of a pretty cool idea. So anyway, the book I got to read, and there's a dedicated section specifically for Willys Jeeps. I kid you not. The differences in rack and pinion and all this stuff was there. They just didn't utilize it in mass production because of cost. But they were using, inline 12-cylinder engines. Packard, I think it was Packard, had a flat plane crank, straight 8. I mean, there are things in there that you really wouldn't consider. Aluminum heads. I think some of the Packards had aluminum head engines and aluminum blocks. And, so this stuff's not new. It's just going mainstream. And then also the other things. Basically what you want is compression, ignition, fuel and exhaust and flow, whatever. All we're doing is just utilizing it in different ways, but the principles have not changed. We haven't created new physics and new, anything. Not really. And really, we've created problems with this direct injection that we had not thought of because we never used it. And now cars are popping up with oil burning onto the, intake valves and losing compression, and you're doing, $2,000 head jobs on cars like this one with 30, 40, 50,000 miles on them. Or, if grandma drives it from brand new, may make it to 80, and then all of a sudden she's like, holy balls, I got a $3,000 repair job. and all I do is drive to the grocery store. I don't understand, you know. So anyway, I'm about to get out, don't worry. But yeah, the bike, I mean the book, it was printed in 1942, I believe. And pretty neat. No, I'm getting out, don't worry. But yeah, it's pretty neat. When I get home, I'll have to upload a vid or put it in the details what specific book it is, because I've seen them on eBay, quite a few after getting mine, and they're running around 20 bucks. Best 20 bucks I've ever spent on a book. No joke. I can't begin to describe how cool this book is. Okay? So, but anyway, that's my take on it. My new joke is, it's not that they don't know more than you, or that they didn't. It's that they probably just don't remember it. But the technology was still there. You remember that the people that were your age in the 60s put a man on the moon. Just saying. So, something to keep in mind. And, yeah. I mean, the more you think about that one, the more it will blow your mind. But, pretty cool stuff. But I would recommend looking the book up. I'll put it in the description. I'll look it up on eBay real quick. That way you guys can find it. But, if you wanted to teach your kid math, physics, and it explains it in a beginner level, but then goes into depth. This was great. So, I'll give you details, and probably going to get it for let the kids read them. Get me a copy to use, play around with, and a copy to keep on the shelf. They need to be reprinted, honestly. I mean, this is history. When you're talking about nail heads, L heads, flat head, V8s, how are you going to rebuild one? You don't know anything about it. Probably don't even know how the valves work in them, for a lot of people. And how to make shim bearings in a Model A, Babbitt bearings, hand-poured Babbitt bearings, all kind of stuff. So, you don't buy bearings for those, I tell y'all. So, anyways, I'm gonna go get to work on the Subaru now that I'm back in town, and wish me luck here. Never done the axles, believe it or not. I usually just get the shop to do it, that way they could realign it, and they're gonna have to do an alignment anyway, but now I've got a lifetime alignment, so it doesn't matter. So, yeah, this will be fun. And I got some help. Mustang, what up? Sit down. Or stretch and then sit. Sit. I don't know if you guys had ever got that off of Amazon, man. Mustang buckle. But, yep. Sit. Come here. Sit down. Sit. Stay. Y'all's kids do that? Sneaky. Heard me coming around, didn't you? Anyway, bye.